Hi Watchmakers family, thanks for joining us today on a very special adventure. As you can see, we're not exactly in our office environment right now, and I'm going to tell you more about it very, very soon. For people who don't know very much about mechanical watchmaking, the image that always comes to mind for them is some old Swiss guy fitting little components together in an alpine workshop. Now, this is sometimes true, but quite often it's not. In any case, the point is that the general perception of watchmaking is that it's an activity that is carried out at high altitudes. Today, courtesy of Swiss International Airlines and Geneva Tourism, in partnership with the Grand Prix de Genève, we're showing you exactly how far we can take this idea. Did I say how far? I meant how high. 30,000 feet in the air, to be exact. Today, we see what it means to create something that is of the highest caliber. We're on a Swiss flight today, an Airbus 330 with the extremely comfortable seat configuration of 221 or 121 in the business class cabins. And I'll tell you why that space and that comfort is super important for what we're doing today. This is Kevin, a watchmaker from Geneva, and he's currently in the process of setting up his workstation. That's right. Today we are putting the haute in horologerie. Kevin will be guiding Damien, a member of the Swiss International Airlines crew, in assembling a watch movement 30,000 feet up in the air. An exciting challenge that has never been attempted on record. We took off from Geneva Airport just over 3 hours ago, and in slightly less than 5 hours, we will be touching down at JFK Airport in New York. It's one of the many direct flights to an international travel hub that is offered by Swiss International Airlines from Geneva, but I also have to point out that New York was not a destination that was chosen at random. Over the last few days, the completed watch movement was on display at the travelling exhibition of the Grand Prix de Genève, hosted by Watches of Switzerland at their Soho boutique. Surrounding this little piece of horological/aviation history were the 84 exceptional wristwatches competing in the 2023 edition of the GPHG, the prestigious awards ceremony, otherwise known as the Oscars of watchmaking. For now, let's see how Kevin and Damien get on with their ambitious endeavor to create the highest caliber. As you can imagine, assembling a watch does require a special set of skills, and these skills are really put to the test when working on a plane like this. A steady hand is essential, not to mention good lighting and a relatively calm environment. What happens when turbulence hits, or if the passenger next to you decides to take a nap and pull down his window shade? How can you concentrate on such an intricate task in an environment with noise levels that are constantly around 85 decibels? Let's speak with Kevin and Damien to find out how they did it. Kevin, bravo once again for the part you played in successfully assembling this movement at the height of 30,000 feet in the air.
Thank you so much.
Tell us a bit about how this activity, this assembling a movement, which is already not easy when you're on the ground, how it becomes so much more of a challenge once you're in the air.
Sure. So first, there's the participant. Of course, you never know to who you're gonna instruct the watchmaking world and the technical part of the watch. And then there's the airplane. Of course, we're in the air. We do not know if there are few turbulences. So
because normally it's quite stable. You rest in a...
Yes, the pilot said today that it was a great day. The forecast was great, yes, for sure. So we were so lucky with this one. And then of course there's the noise. As you may hear, it's quite noisy here.
It is.
And you have like few people passing by. There is a lot of activity here. But the atmosphere is very, very good actually with the particles.
Ah yes, because it's clean.
It is super
It's very
clean.
filtered air.
Yes. The air is filtered, and so it went very well with the encasing of the watch.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I imagine there are some technical elements like the temperature and how it affects the oil, things like the humidity, and these are little details that actually affect
the process?
Actually, this detail was not that important because we only have like 10% humidity here. So it's kind of a dry atmosphere, but again, it went very well, and actually the oil was very stable. Sure.
Perfect. And we're lucky that in this cabin we have these absolutely clear and strong lights giving you a great view of what you're doing.
Actually, the light was a little bit of a challenge, I have to admit, because we had to play with the light, you know. Of course, we're in business class right now, so we have these two lights, and that we can, of course, project in the right direction, and 4 great lights on your head. So at first it was a little bit of a challenge, but then we were able to project the light as we wanted to.
That's amazing. So we can say that this cabin is really kind of set up for even the most complicated tasks.
Yes, for sure. Let's make some great workshop in the air.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kevin.
It was a pleasure. Once again. Thank you again.
Jamie, we see you mostly in your role as a kind of online ambassador for what Swiss International Airlines represents, like their values, the relationship that they want to have with their audience. How do you think you've grown in this area from this experience, and what new messages will you be sharing with the audience because of this?
I take actually a lot of things from this experience, like many details, many things that were very particular things to do, and it's like the company, the Swiss quality that everybody have to experience in business and first in economy. But the message is just like you need to this experience. You feel at home. We welcome you like we have to do, like the Swiss hospitality.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
While the fascinating métier of mechanical watchmaking is closely associated with Switzerland, in fact, it is a global tradition that lives anywhere and everywhere that people love beauty, craftsmanship, and creativity. Those of you who find yourself intrigued and wanting to follow this story all the way to the end, keep in mind that the award ceremony of the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève will be held in, where else? Geneva, of course, on the 9th of November this year, where the city will be waiting to welcome you, and Swiss International Airlines ready to take you there with direct flights to Geneva from over 40 destinations worldwide.